Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us this morning. My name is Crystal Gunther, and I'm the Vice President of Community Philanthropy here at the Community Foundation of Southern Indiana. Also joining us this morning from the foundation is Margaret Brinkworth, the Program Associate. Welcome to another scholarship program season. I feel like we just wrapped up last year and rolling into the next. So thank you for joining us to hear more about our scholarship program. This morning, we'll provide a little more detailed information about the program, including important dates and deadlines, as well as the different scholarship opportunities currently available. Some of you joining us this morning may already be familiar with the foundation, but for anyone that is not, I just want to take a few minutes to give a brief introduction of who we are and what we do here at the foundation. The Community Foundation has been around for 32 years now, since 1991. We are the region's partner, resource, and steward in philanthropy. Initially covering a 5-county footprint as a community foundation, today we cover the footprint of Clark and Floyd counties, and we currently manage nearly $140 million in charitable assets with over 300 individual funds, each of which supports the unique charitable intent of donors who establish those funds with us. We're really just a charitable vehicle, if you will, for donors, both during and for after their lifetimes. We've experienced some pretty substantial growth in our 32 years, growing our assets from initially $1 million, which was a matching grant, very generous matching grant provided by the Lilly Endowment, to today, as I mentioned already, over or close to $140 million. Our grant making last year totaled over $6.5 million from our endowments, and we've awarded over $60 million in grants over the last 32 years. So our mission as a community foundation is to, I'm sorry, just one moment, is to be a, sorry, I've lost my, can you see my screen, or is it still sharing? Okay,
yes,
I just want to make sure.
Partner resource steward.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I didn't lose it. Our mission at the Community Foundation is to build those durable charitable resources used to positively impact our community by serving as the partner, resource, and resource for donors, their financial and planning advisors and area nonprofits, fulfilling a leadership role on important community issues, and really just making it simple for donors to fulfill their individual goals of giving back while providing stewardship of those donors' gifts and the endowments, and they're protecting their charitable intent for generations to come. So that's a little about who we are. Now that I have shared a little bit about the foundation, you're here this morning to hear about scholarships. So that's what we're here to talk about. Beginning August 14th, high school seniors throughout Clark, Floyd, and surrounding counties can apply for scholarships through the foundation. The foundation oversees well over 80 scholarship funds and growing, established by donors that desire to assist students in Southern Indiana. While many of these awards are available through local high schools and colleges, students may apply for specific scholarships directly through the foundation's website, as I already mentioned, starting on August 14th. Each year, scholarships established by our donors provide life-changing opportunities for students in Clark and Floyd counties. And we're very fortunate to live in a community that believes in giving back. And we are thankful for these individuals, families, and businesses who establish these scholarship funds here at the foundation that allow students to continue their education and pursue their goals. In spring of 2023, the Community Foundation of Southern Indiana is pleased to announce that we awarded over 160 scholarships worth a combined value of over $1 million. This was a record for us in that we reached the $1 million mark this year, which is very exciting. There are also a lot of scholarship funds administered at local high schools, which close to 70, I believe, but currently 18 reoccurring scholarships, including the Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship, which are actively administered here at the Community Foundation of Southern Indiana. But not all of them may be offered each school year. Students who meet the eligibility requirements of any of these scholarships may apply to the program, and if eligible, may be awarded a scholarship from one or more different funds, which is not uncommon for some of these scholars to receive more than one of the scholarships that we have available. Of course, to review the scholarships that are available this year, we encourage you to visit our website at www.cfsouthernindiana.com/scholarships, where there's more information, and that will also be where the Community Foundation of Southern Indiana online application link will be located as well for the applications. Our application process is designed to make it easier and less time consuming for students to apply. All applications must be completed and submitted through the online scholarship system, as I mentioned, located on the website. And again, that link will be live and available beginning Monday, August 14th. To be considered for any award, an applicant must be a graduating high school senior in the spring of 2024, graduating from an accredited Indiana or Kentucky high school with a diploma recognized by the Indiana or Kentucky Department of Education, and be planning to pursue a degree or certificate for the first time in the fall of 2024. Applicants must also be a U.S. citizen with legal U.S. residency or lawful permanent residency status. When creating an application, applicants must use a personal email and not a school email. Again, we reiterate the importance that school emails are not acceptable. They must use a personal email. The number of awards and the award amounts, of course, vary each year based on available funding for each scholarships from the scholarship funds. Scholarships received, the funds that are received can be applied to tuition, fees, books, and supplies that are required for coursework at an accredited institution in the United States. These institutions include two-year colleges, four-year colleges, and accredited vocational and technical schools. Students may transfer from one institution to another if they receive an award, and they may retain that award, but we just always caution that the student make note of any particular specifications about that scholarship. If there's a certain college or university that they must be attending and or a specific state in which that school must be in, that they're aware of that to prevent any issues with forfeiting a scholarship if they transfer to an ineligible school. We don't have a lot of scholarships like that, but we just also caution scholars to make sure that they pay attention to those eligibility requirements. The scholarship, of course, we always encourage the scholars when they accept their awards each spring that if they have questions at any time, that they reach out to our scholarship support team and contact them with any questions they may have. And we have that support team contact information available on our website. Are there any questions? I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, and we'll keep going. So to ensure complete impartiality in the selection of recipients and to maintain a high level of professionalism and security, the program, our program is administered by International Scholarship Tuition Services, which is an independent company that specializes in managing sponsored educational assistance programs. We partnered with ISTS a couple of years ago, and they've helped manage the efficiencies of our scholarship program here at the foundation as it has grown substantially over the last 3 decades. An independent committee from ISTS evaluates completed applications received and selects recipients considering some, but not necessarily all of the following criteria: academic achievements, community involvement, volunteerism, financial need, extenuating circumstances, an essay, and a counselor recommendation portion of the application. This is required of every applicant to send the request recommendation to their counselor within their application in order for their application to be completed. This must be completed before an applicant can receive the status of completed in the portal. So the applicant must be sure to be aware of the deadlines and request that information from their counselor right away. One of the things that I do want to mention, the deadline for this year's application is September 18th. I'll go back over that again here in just a second. If a counselor recommendation is sent to a counselor through the portal and it is not completed on or before September 18th, there is a possibility it will not be further considered. However, I do want to mention that we do extend a grace period until September 25th for the counselors. That is not something that we advertise to the applicants and to the students. So if a student sends a counselor recommendation on September 18th, counselors have a grace period until September 25th to complete that counselor recommendation and submit that. Again, we do not advertise that, and we do not recommend advertising that to the applicants. September 18th is technically the deadline for them.
Is there a time of day on the 18th? Or is it just
It's at 11:59
that night?
p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Please note that all of these scholarship funds were set up by different donors. So of course you see that they all have varying initial qualifying criteria and requirements. So whether it's GPA, whether it's county of residence, maybe a particular high school or a field of study, each donor set these awards to be unique to their giving strategy, and we are just administering them, ensuring their intent and perpetuity through the scholarship program. Supporting documentation may be required and typically includes the high school transcript, the parents or legal guardians. It will be the 2022 filed tax return information, and from time to time, any other legal documentation that might be requested by the foundation to substantiate information provided on the application. All required supporting documents must be uploaded to the online application by the application deadline. All of this information is in the application itself. There is a frequently asked questions section, which provides very detailed information about what is required, how to upload, what the different status notifications mean, whether a scholarship, what that means if it's submitted, what an application means if it's completed. There's a very clear explanation of all of that in the application for the applicants. The applicant is required to upload their own transcript. So that is something that they will do themselves in the portal. Again, there is very specific instruction for what they need to upload in their application, as it requires the high school transcript. If an applicant is selected as a scholarship recipient, they must be enrolled as a full-time undergraduate student in the fall of the year in which the scholarships are awarded. More and more now, we are seeing requests from scholars that are receiving the awards in the spring to sit out a semester, maybe work for a semester and come back the next year. Unfortunately, our scholarships would require that those scholars begin in the fall of the year in which they graduate. And they must continue the entire academic year without interruption, unless, again, that is something that is approved by the foundation. Checks are sent directly to the schools that the scholars select to be credited to their bursar account. So as I mentioned, we are wrapping up the cycle of last year. All of those checks for all of the scholars last year went out the first week in August. So those have all gone out, and of course it just takes time to get to those schools via the mail and get credited to those bursar accounts on behalf of those students. Checks do not go directly to the scholars. They go to the schools that they indicate they are attending in the spring when they complete the online scholarship acceptance and agreements. I'm going to pause here. Are there any questions about any of that? Okay. So some important dates to remember for the 2024 Spring Scholarships Award Program. August 14th, scholarship applications are available online. Again, it will be the same as last year. There will be a Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship application, and then our general program for all of our other scholarship applications. Between So that again, that link will be available on our website. With September 18th as the deadline for the online scholarship application completed submissions. Between September and October, our committee will review all submitted applications. And then as usual in October, Lilly semifinalists will be notified and interviews will take place. And then in December, the Lilly Scholars will be announced. And in May through June, scholarship presentations and award announcements for all scholarships will be made during the local high school award ceremonies. Also in May, scholarship recipients will be required to complete scholarship agreements and award notifications online. This is why it's really important for us to have a personal email and not a school email, because that communication and that link to the online acceptance and online scholarship agreements is sent to that email, that personal email for that scholar. And then, of course, in July, as I mentioned, or apologize, early August, scholarship awards are mailed, those checks are mailed to those accredited educational institutions on behalf of the scholars. So just to do a quick recap of a few time-sensitive and important pieces of information that I shared. All information about the scholarship program and what is available can be found on our website on the scholarship page. The online application will be available beginning August 14th. And we encourage, again, all applicants to be sure to submit the counselor recommendation form to their counselor as soon as possible, as soon as they start that application, to ensure that that is completed timely and they can get their application submitted and in a completed status. That must complete all sections and upload all required documents in the application and submit the application online no later than September 18th with the announced extended grace period for counselors through September 25th for the counselor section. And then lastly, if there are additional questions, of course, we always try to answer the questions that the applicants have, but we strongly encourage them to use the live chat feature in the application. And there is also additional support contact information in the application as well. Let's see. Make sure. We thank you again for being a valued partner with the foundation each year. Without you, we can't make the scholarship program successful. And we thank you for the time to stop by and learn more about the program, hear more about the dates and deadlines. And we wish you all the very best of luck this year with your students. I do also quickly want to mention that for those schools that have other scholarships that are administered outside of this program, it will be the same process as last year, where you will receive the PPA compliance certification document that lists all of the scholarships that are available, what the criteria is, and what the available to award is each year. And then what I do ask is that I know each year there are some changes that sometimes happen within the counseling offices at the schools, that if there's any changes to who the primary contacts are, that you notify us. But also when you get those compliance certification documents, if your school does have scholarships to be awarded outside of this foundation scholarship program, that you update the scholarship committees if they are different from last year, and make sure that all of that information is accurate once we send all of those out, which will probably be early September. We will also use the same Dropbox system for electronically sending and receiving all of that information. So just be on the lookout for communications from me, letting you know that all of the new information is uploaded into the Dropbox folders for you to view. And it will be the same scholarship recommendation spreadsheet document that will be used again this year as last year, with notating all of the recommended scholars for all of the different scholarships that you'll be awarding. Any questions? Margaret, is there anything that I'm forgetting?
Nothing at all. I think that's everything.
I have a quick question. Do I just go to the website to see who's up for the Ogle this year, or did you? Okay.
Yeah, all of that information on all the different scholarship awards that are available. If you go to the website and just click scholarships and scroll down, it'll have all the different awards and the criteria that are available.
I can offer that information. It's Charlestown, Clarksville, and Renaissance Academy, Floyd Central, Jeffersonville, and Switzerland County.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to another successful year. Please reach out if you have any questions. Again, encourage the students to use that live chat feature in the applications. And we look forward to another successful spring awards this in 2024. Thank you all very much for attending this morning.